what's going on guys? Arekkz here, welcome back to another Anthem video, and in this one I want to give you guys a chance to take a look at some Masterwork gear. The other week I had a chance to go to an event in London as part of the EA Game Changers program and record some Anthem gameplay, and while I was there, at the end of the day, we got to play with some endgame characters for about an hour, so not too long, but it did give us a chance to take a look at some of the gear pieces they had, test out some high level gear. Largely speaking, these characters were decked out with epic gear, but all of them had a couple of Masterwork pieces too, so what I thought we'd do in this video is dive in and take a look at those, because Masterworks of course carry additional bonuses, the little yellow text you see on the UI, and these can change the way that your build works. So if you do enjoy this, then a like would be super appreciated. Comment down below if you have any questions, and of course if you guys haven't entered the giveaway for the limited edition Super Smash Bros. Nintendo Switch, there is still just about time to do so, so be sure to click that link in the description box down below if you want to win. Now, starting off with the Ranger, there were two pieces under the Assault Launcher that we got that were Masterwork. The first one is a modified Pulse Blast. This is called Avenger's Boon, and if you take a look at the special bonus for it, it says that when you hit an enemy with this ability, it increases your melee damage by 110% for 20 seconds. Now that is really cool, because when you factor in that this ability is a detonator, and the Ranger's melee is the only one that is a primer. So technically speaking, it actually works in this kind of cool cycle, because you can basically melee an enemy to prime it, you then detonate it with this ability, which then powers up your melee, so you can then go back in and melee another enemy to prime it again, and then hopefully use this on repeat. So it's actually got some pretty cool synergy going on there with those of you guys that want to sort of take full advantage of your melee abilities. Meanwhile, the other item is an upgraded Seeking Missile, and this too is a detonator, and the ability for this one is that after you defeat an enemy, you regain 100% charge, and this can occur once every 7.5 seconds. So if you were to then, use something and take down an enemy shield, and then use this ability to destroy them, defeat them, then you can basically get this on repeat, and again, because it is a detonator, this means you have plenty of opportunities to use it to detonate other combos, especially if you're working in teams, so that is definitely something pretty cool, worth taking a look at. However, on top of that, there were also a couple of components. Each of the javelins that we got a chance to test out all had different components. So the first one here is called Combined Arms. This is for your grenade. It increased your grenade damage by 5%, but additionally, if you defeat an enemy with your right bumper attack, it then increases your left bumper gear damage by 60% for 5 seconds. If you guys saw one of the previous live streams with the Ranger gameplay, you've probably seen this. It's one of the ones where they basically upgraded it so that you can throw a grenade and you can then power up your other ability. You can then destroy them with that ability, which then refreshes it, and you can then do this on repeat, which is pretty handy. However, on top of that, there was also a component called Vanguard's Badge, where performing a melee attack restores 20% of your shield. So if you paired that with the Masterwork ability, the gear piece from earlier, and you were going to sort of focus on meleeing, then not only are you going to be increasing your melee damage, you're also going to be restoring your shields in the process. So you can begin to see how there's some nice synergy when you do start getting some of these nice Masterwork components near the end of the game. Moving on from there to the Colossus, we have Best Defense, which is an upgraded siege artillery. This one, when you hit an enemy with the rocket, it restores 35% of your armor, which is kind of handy since the Colossus is typically at the front lines of the battle. And you also have an upgraded flamethrower, which is for sure going to be the one that I use, because you guys know, if you saw my build video the other day, that the flamethrower, the lightning coil, is just the best thing ever. So you definitely consider checking it out. But this is called Fist of the Crucible. And for this one, if you defeat an enemy, it increases the flamethrower damage by 30% for 10 seconds, and this can stack up to 5 times. And if you do consider pairing that with the lightning coil and just how fast you can defeat enemies because of the combo, this is going to be very, very nice. There are of course also a couple of additional options for the components. You had Catalytic Overdrive, which when you detonate a combo, increases your ability damage by 40% for 20 seconds. So as mentioned, that's going to go very nicely in that build I just spoke about. Plus you also have Emblem of Destruction, where if you perform a multi-kill with your ultimate, it'll increase your ultimate charge by 3,300%. So essentially, what that translates as is if you can multi-kill 5 enemies with your ultimate, you can then get back another 3 shots. So where you typically have 3 shots with your ultimate, you can, technically speaking, get 6, if of course there are enough enemies to actually proc this every single time. Either way, this is a nice one. Then for the Storm, you have Chaotic Rhyme, where after freezing an enemy, it increases your LB slot damage by 125% for 20 seconds. So again, similar sort of principle to the Ranger one, pretty nice, but given that this is a good primer, this is something you might take full advantage of. And you also have the rather awesomely named 10,000 Suns, which is an upgraded Burning Orb, and for this one, after you hit an enemy, you gain 5% increased damage for 5 seconds, and this stacks up to 20 times. Meanwhile, on the component front, you had Amulet of Winter, where applying an ice effect increases weapon damage by 20% for 20 seconds, which is of course really nice if you decide to freeze the enemies and then go and swap to your weapon to deal some damage. And then you also have Token of the Master, where hitting an enemy with your right bumper attack increases your left bumper attack damage dealt by 60% for 5 seconds. So again, another one of those nice synergy ones whereby using one ability powers up your other one, and you can keep that going in a cycle. And then finally, turning your attention to the Interceptor, we have Sanadine's Respite, which is an upgraded Plasma Star, where hitting an enemy weak point instantly restores 5% of your shields, and since you have quite a few of the Plasma Stars to throw, this is actually pretty nice. And you also have the upgraded Tempest Kick called Sudden Death, which is one of my favourite moves. There was also a video on that earlier in the week on the Interceptor build on the channel if you guys haven't seen that. But with this one, when you hit an enemy with this move, it detonates a fiery explosion. So on top of the regular melee damage you get, you also have some fire damage on top. And as for your components, you have the Elusive Talisman, where dashing 3 times refills the equipped weapon magazine, which is very cool given that you will always be on the move with the Interceptor. And you also have Talisman of Power, where any right bumper hit increases your left bumper damage by 50% for 5 seconds. So as you can begin to see, there are plenty of cool options, and this is just a small sample. These are merely 2 items and 2 components per character, but this is of course what's going to keep us going, this is of course what's going to keep us playing, and this is what is going to allow us to fine-tune our builds towards the very end game. Anyway, that's it for the time being. That was just a quick look at some of the different Masterwork components we got a chance to mess around with. There was gameplay for some of them we didn't get a chance to use because we only had a short period of time, but hopefully that gives you guys a chance to think about some of the stuff you can begin doing end game. Anyway, be sure to keep it locked for plenty more Anthem videos. Thanks very much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you want to check out some more awesome stuff from us here at Arekkz Gaming, then you should definitely try to catch TwoSixNine and Paradise Central streaming 6 days a week. You can find a link to the multi-stream in the description box down below. They play a wide range of games, and what's more, we also have the end game store. By watching their streams, you earn currency, and you can redeem that currency on the end game store for really cool prizes. Those can range from things like games, comics, and figures, all the way up to controllers, capture cards, and even consoles. So definitely drop by and become part of the community. Of course, if you enjoyed this video, then make sure you're subscribed and be sure to click on that little bell icon to turn on notifications so you don't miss our next upload. You can watch more videos by clicking on the options here, but once again, thanks very much for watching, take it easy, catch you next time, peace out.